Wildfires are raging across Europe, where a heatwave has exaggerated drought conditions in the region. Major fires have affected countries including Spain, Italy, and Greece in the past month, causing these nations to be put in its highest heatwave alert. Firefighters are still tackling blazes in the region. Heat waves have become more frequent, more intense, and last longer as a result of the human-induced climate change. In Spain, officials say more residents have been evacuated from their homes in the northern sector of the holiday island.
Que el fuego está cerca de la granja y tenemos ahí bastante, hay camión, hay furgón, hay la granja, las gallinas y de todo. Y que es un negocio que va bien, pero que si llega el fuego nos arruina totalmente. Y que por favor que hagan algo al respecto porque el fuego está ahí mismo.
Los bomberos están delante de las casas, por eso quiero que queramos todos los vecinos de allí que permanezcan allí por lo menos para que no pasen para las casas y se pueda salvar algunos animalitos, porque mi hermano los otros sí, los otros pequeñitos perritos sí lo bajaron, pero los grandes no, y es una pena. La verdad, yo estoy nerviosa por la casita de mis padres, fallecieron, pero mi hermano el otro sí vive pegado al lado de la casa de mis padres y estamos, como comprenden, ¿verdad?, nerviosos.
Nosotros estamos quedando en el coche, durmiendo, porque claro, nos ofrecieron un pabellón aquí abajo, pero nosotros, claro, preferimos más en el coche porque así estamos viendo la casa, si se quema, ¿no? Y abajo no vamos a dormir nada, estamos más que pendientes en la casa, en todo, porque tenemos terreno y todo, pero claro, no podemos subir a ver cómo está eso, si está bien o está mal, yo no sé.
Meanwhile, tourists at the Colosseum in Rome, Italy, are fending off high temperatures as the city is currently hit by a new heat wave. Temperatures are reaching 40 degrees Celsius in many cities, including Rome.
È tosto, ma neanche troppo diverso rispetto ai giorni scorsi, sempre caldo come gli altri giorni.
Very hot, it's really hot. And we didn't realize this is heat wave. This is the first time what we feel in here. It's just like we can't go out and it's just so humid, not like before.
Now, joining me live from Brussels in Belgium is Nweke, a Green Party councillor in Belgium and a global affairs analyst. Well, welcome to you, Collins, and thanks for joining us beyond the continent.
My pleasure to be with you, Gbenga. Thank you for having me.
Now, Collins, let's talk about the recent spike in temperatures that has affected parts of Europe, and I believe Belgium is also affected. Greece, Spain, and Italy. What do you make of this situation? And it's been occurring on a yearly basis. Some have attributed it to greenhouse emissions and climate change. What's your take on this heat wave and the situation in Europe?
Yeah, indeed. Quite a substantial part of the heat wave leading indeed to the wildfire, are man-made. In terms of human behavior, the climate change. That's a very, very important factor. But there are also other aspects of the factors that are natural in the sense that the topography of some parts of Europe, mainly Italy, Spain, Portugal, Croatia, and the rest of them, but increasingly, it's also coming, over to Central Europe and other parts that one would have thought were, safe from all of these issues. Now, just to give you a sense of what we're dealing with here, 28%, approximately 28%, I think it's about 27.7% of the land area of Europe is covered by forest. Now, it is not just that it is covered by forest, but covered by, trees that are highly flammable, like palms and, pines and the rest of them. And also, so the vegetation is an issue. It is indeed considered a fuel that actually instigate some of these fires. So far, some 260,000 hectares of land have, been burnt, by wildfire this year. That is humongous. That is troubling.
Now, callers, this wildfires, they're almost seasonal, year on year, and I'm sure scientists and authorities in Europe have been trying to do something about it. What do you think can be done from data gathered and from observance of the situation to prevent the wildfires? Is it something that Europeans in these regions will get used to? Since a lot of it is a natural occurrence, and like you said, as a result of human behavior.
Yes, indeed. I think Europe is looking at two layers of solution to this problem. Of course, within the context of prevention and then solution. Now, at the local level, they are encouraging local authorities like us to actually be mindful of the sort of forest that we maintain. So when trees are up for replacement, because the theory is you cut one down, you replace it with another. So when trees are going to be replaced, you ensure that they are not highly flammable trees. That's one, because you can't change the topography, but of course you can change the vegetation. They are also encouraging people, local authorities to have some sort of buffer zones, where in a forest, everywhere is not covered by, vegetation, by trees and all of that, but also encouraging authorities to, have more ponds, where you have waters flowing and all of that. So that's at the local level, and indeed the phase one. Now, at the broader level, they are looking at importation of Canada firefighting, machines, because they don't have those. But you see, others have been placed, but they are not going to be here until about 2027. So in the meantime, behavioral change is being encouraged, and local actions, at municipal level are also being encouraged. And as you will expect, the EU, through the Fire Institute, is actually churning out sizable sum of money to support these preventive initiatives.
Now, Collins, the United Nations Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, recommends adding Italy to its list of World Heritage in danger. As we do know, Italy is home to the Colosseum and several UNESCO World Site Heritage sites. What do you make of this? And by doing that, will it prevent fires, and would it make the authorities more responsive to dealing with this heat wave and fires that might put this heritage site in danger?
I think the authorities at the European level and of course UNESCO actually found a need to react, and to react in such a manner that some bit of shock waves are sent across those who need to take action. But I believe that beyond that, they are actually looking at more at preventive ways of ensuring that these fires are not there. But they have to do what they have to do, because those heritages are so very, very important that they can't allow them to waste that way. And then regarding the tourists, I believe that essentially it's going to affect tourism, no doubt, but more education, information campaign and all of that is something else that they will be working on to sensitize tourists, while indeed being on the case of local authorities to do what they have to do on the area of prevention. Human behavior, of course, very, very important, because tourists have been, pointed accusing fingers in terms of, how much pollution they bring along with them. I believe local authorities like mine are working very, very hard to ensure that information are available, and dustbins here and there, and deploying more people to increase the preventive capacity.
their communities and communities that have lived in some of these areas for years and thousands of years in some cases. How has this various European governments responded to assist in the inferno's most vulnerable victims, especially those who were forced to flee their homes?
Yes, indeed. With the wildfire came also, a sizable number of internally displaced people. There have been deaths recorded, and injuries and all of that. And of course, government reacts, swiftly in terms of, kind of providing temporal accommodation for them, but also other necessities so that people are not left to suffer. I believe that in the long term, well, in the immediate term, I would say houses that are found to be, susceptible to fire, especially those occupied by the most vulnerable in the society that do not have, enough wherewithal to actually purchase the state-of-the-art electrification and are relying on the old electrification system that ignites fire easily. Things are being done to provide them, subsidize them reinstallation of the electric, electricity facility, just by way of little example to forestall risks.
Thank you very much for your time and insight, Mr. Nweke. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.